Thank you, thank you. My name is Toon Timmermans, CEO of Field Robotics, which is a high-tech robotic company that connects actually Internet of Things devices to a communication platform that enables them to control over distance. Field Robotics makes it extremely easy to connect any Bluetooth device and control it remotely. So this all might sound a little bit confusing, so let me explain. So today we're going to talk about the future of intimacy. So, who had sex without being physically together? Technology is changing the way we communicate, the way we interact. Let me give you an example. Back in the day when I was a little boy, I went camping with my parents and I met this beautiful girl, Anna. When I got home, I wrote her several letters. Who wrote a letter the last 12 months coming home after a holiday? Nobody, right? So back then we also had rotary phones, and after a few years answering machines. That was the way we communicate together. Then mobile phones became the main way of contacting each other. First by calling, then texting. I still remember when I got mine, I was the first in my class during university. And now we're using WeChat, WhatsApp, Facebook to contacting each other. Technology is moving extremely fast. Also, how we meet people is changing. Back then, I used to walk up to a girl. Hey, how you doing? With the risk of being rejected, obviously, but lucky me, that never happened. Now people meet each other through online dating sites. 44% of people who are successfully on the online dating, they end up at a marriage or in a long-term relationship. The annual revenue of this industry is already around $2 billion. So it's huge. How many of you guys have used Tinder? Almost half of it, right? So how many of you had a date through Tinder? Well, almost everybody. So the hype of these dating apps lead me to try it myself. So I told my girlfriend, Jorien, I needed to test this new thing called Tinder. I needed to do it for research. So I created a profile and gave it a try. Just the texting though, not the dating part, because she's not that open-minded. Although we're both from Amsterdam. The whole experience was very strange for me. How can I talk to somebody who I never met? I can tell you guys, I was really, really bad at it. At that moment, I realized the world is changing. Apparently, I'm a digital immigrant instead of a digital citizen. So, the younger generations, let's say the digital citizens, they seem to be way more comfortable with this type of communication. They have never lived in a world without internet or smartphones. I see groups of young kids sitting with each other, only texting, no talking. Recently I read an article about classes who've been given to teach people how to communicate in person, in real life. What also has changed is the way we are intimate with our lovers. People have phone sex, sending pictures to each other. Sexting is a hot topic, right? So you don't need to be physically together to be intimate. The new way of communication makes the world smaller because we can have relationships all over the world, from Amsterdam to New York. It's easier to reach out to anybody. So what is intimacy? Intimacy means something different for you or for me. For some, it's holding hands, a way of being intimate. For others, there needs to be sex involved to be intimate. What we all have in common is the need for human connection. Research has shown that we need the sensation of touch to establish that human connection. Even the briefest touch can cause an emotional response, so touching each other is important to build and maintain relationships. Another research shows that physical affection is highly correlated with the happiness in a relationship. We all have changing and busy lives. There is more distance through the modern technology. It can be hard to find time to be physically together and close enough for intimacy. I believe we must create a new space for this intimacy in this technological world. So, how can we use technology and to facilitate our most intimate moments? So my inspiration of all this came by the movie Demolition Man with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone, and maybe you remember it's back in the 80s. They sit across each other, weird helmets on, and they have virtual sex with each other without touching each other. This scene sparked my idea. What kind of technology can we create, can we invent, so you can feel your partner being physical, your partner without being physical together? The goal of this project was to facilitate the needs of human nature, to give people the tools they need so that they can be intimate anywhere in the world. So we started for couples who are in a long-distance relationship, couples like people who are in the army or in an oil rig or maybe even disabled people. So what kind of devices do you need to have this sexual experience without the other person being in the same room? After research, the outcome was people want devices that can connect anytime, anywhere. But even more important, the desire to interact in real time without any delay. So it goes much further than just seeing each other and hearing each other online. With these ideas in mind, we created the Kiru interactive sex toys. The Onyx male masturbator and the Pearl, a touch-sensitive vibrator that mimics every movement that you make in real time. Those devices connect wireless and communicate directly. So, how does this all work? This is my really, really good friend from Omabad. So each stroke he makes with the vibrator will be translated to the masturbator. He will feel the up and down movement without any delay. Also, he can give pleasure with his masturbator to the vibrator. By touching it, it sends the vibration to the vibrator. This creates a feeling of intimacy. Well, basically, you just have real online sex. Thanks, buddy. Any device can connect to any other device. So, male to male, male to female, female to female, or even one to many. We wanted to make any option possible. We wanted to make any option possible because we know there are a lot of variations in how people express themselves sexually. Since the first two devices we have created, this year we release 7 to 9 new second-generation devices. Some of them created with the world-leading companies in the adult toy industry, like Omabot, WeVibe, Flashlight. Let me see if this video works. We had some technical issues, so let me see. Oh, there it goes. It doesn't show.
mission control has a visual on launch. Flashlight target engaged. You are cleared for launch. Tired of using your hand? Put your flashlight on cruise control with the Flashlight Launch, the ultimate hands-free experience. Launch your rocket with different settings like smart touch control for speed and stroke, synced content with VR and POV experiences, and teledildonic connectivity to play with others. Flashlight Launch. Get yours now at gettelaunch.com.
For the few ones who don't know Flashlight, Flashlight has been around for 20 years already. We partnered up with them. They sold already over 14 million flashlights. So that's why we made this great add-on. Oh, now it starts again. Hold on. Next slide. All right. So, yeah, the more we get into this sex tech industry, the more we saw there was a huge demand to connect our devices to other kind of content, like videos, virtual reality, and also webcam. We developed a way to connect our devices to those kind of content and add that missing element of touch. This is also known as immersive entertainment. So now you can feel what is happening in the video. So when you watch an adult video, you will feel exactly what happens in that video. It's like you're there. So why stop with regular videos? We went ahead to add the virtual reality. The concept has been around since the 90s. It's not that new. But only in the recent years, the technology has become advanced enough and cheap enough for the average consumer. Now you can buy a virtual headset for about 40 bucks, you put your smartphone in, and you have an incredibly experience. You can take a tour through New York or through the jungle, or have sex. Well, watch sex or watch porn. Well, not only watch it, but also feel it. Because virtual reality makes it so real, and in combination with your headphone, it's like you are there. And your brain starts to search for that recognition. So you see people always doing like this, right? So your brain wants to have that confirmation that it's real. In combination with our devices, it is real because you feel exactly what happens in the video. It becomes almost entirely immersive, an entirely immersive experience. So next to VR movies, there is an entire virtual adult world. We believe instead of being isolating, the technology brings us together in ways we would never have thought was possible. Also, the VR and the sex tech is being used in sex therapies of sex therapists. They teach people how to become better lovers with our toys. Virtual sexology is the first fully immersive sex education and therapy tool. Our online technology has also been integrated in some of the world's leading webcam websites. Webcam is one of the most booming industries nowadays. Thousands and thousands of cam models are online at any given moment. When you can connect to a webcam model, she can take control of your pleasure with our devices. It gives a more realistic and closer experience for their clients. So the question is, are we there yet? I think we've made a huge step forward, giving people the tools they need to become intimate in a world that is constantly changing. Technology is transforming in how we express love and intimacy. And the technology holds great potential for couples and singles, no matter how far apart. So they can experience deeper emotional and physical connections. So where are we heading? Our aim is not to eliminate real sex, but only to help those who cannot be together. Those who need a companion, or those who are looking to explore their sexuality. We want to push the boundaries where technology can take our intimate lives, and sex is not the only way to do it. Our technology is also facilitating the Hey bracelet. That will let your long-distance lover, your child, your parent know you're thinking of them each time you stroke the band. It mimics the human touch. So what will bring the future? I believe in a short period of time, people will get used to this third dimension of online intimacy. Instead of see each other and hear each other, you can feel each other. People were hesitant first. I know, I was. But now it has changed the way we interact with our partners. Now you can add the sensation of touch, although you still need to feel the human connection. More and more people will be intimate online before they meet in real life. I often get the question, if we don't need to see each other anymore in person, well, will our devices replace real intercourse? I don't believe that. Nothing is better than real intercourse. Thank you very much. Thank you for Worlds Fair Nano.